Madison with Finding Me Clay Co. And today I'm going to be demonstrating how to create marbled clay earrings. So today what I am going to use is Sculpey translucent clay as well as pre-mixed colors. You can choose any colors that you would like. And then I will also be using a tissue blade, a hand roller, a pasta machine, although that is not required, white acrylic paint to help with the marbling, and Sculpey Bacon Bond to help all of the pieces come together before slicing. Here I have my pre-mixed Sculpey translucent clay, and what I'm going to do is cut little pieces out with my tissue blade. This just helps with the division of color for each of your marbled pieces. Here I also have pre-mixed colors that I have had from past projects. And then I will go ahead and add a pinch. You don't need a lot to color this translucent clay, and you can add as much or as little as you would like, depending on how vibrant you like the colors. So then once you have all of your clays added to the translucent, you can either use the hand roller if you don't have a pasta machine, or you can go ahead and use your pasta machine. Here I like to fully incorporate my colors into my translucent, as I just like the way it looks better, but you can also leave it halfway incorporated to let the translucent stand out more. So here you'll see that I chose to add a little bit more blue because I wasn't liking how the color came out. And then as you continue to mix your clay pieces together, you'll see how the colors will go together, and then you can choose to add more colors, add more of the translucent. Here I have also added granite translucent to add some speckled to my tan pieces. And then hopefully that will all come together to add a little bit of a beachy look here. Next, what you are going to do is you're going to take your tissue blade and you're going to go ahead and chop up your clay. You can do this however you like. I tend to do one way, switch and go sideways, just whatever way you would like to get it into small pieces. I have also seen people go ahead and roll the pieces into balls. As for me, I prefer to just chop it up as it is a little bit easier and it saves a little bit of time. Here I'm working on a tile, so I will use the tissue blade to help scrape it off of the tile and separate those pieces. And as I do that, I will see if I would like to chop them up more. I tend to like to have mine chopped up more, as I like to have the color be spread out through each piece since earrings are on the smaller side. Here I'll just continue to work with the clay, getting it broken up into pieces, scraped off the tile, and because you want all your pieces separated or else you're going to have the big chunks of color, and maybe that's what you're after so you won't chop them up as much. But here I like to have pieces that are smaller so that you can see them a little bit better throughout the entire piece. So after I go and I finish chopping them up into smaller pieces like I would like, I will then start with the paint. So you can really use any acrylic paint. I like the Liquitex just because I like the strong hold that it has and the vibrant colors that come with it. It is on the more expensive side, but I have also used any cheap acrylic paint that you can get at any craft store, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and those have all worked fine for me as well. I just like the more vibrant colors that Liquitex acrylic paint has. So once you are done chopping up your clay to whatever size you would like it, I go ahead and put gloves on, as I prefer to not have to keep washing paint out of my hands, since this acrylic paint can definitely get everywhere. It is on the thicker side as well, so you do not have to use as much, and then it tends to help stick to the clay better. And then what I do is I just go ahead and I toss it around, trying to coat all the little pieces of clay with it. Sometimes you'll find that the clay will start to stick together, so I will separate it to make sure there's paint in between, and that just helps there be more of a marbled look with it. After you have mixed it, you will see that all of the colors are coated in the white paint, so you can almost not even see the color underneath it. Here you can see that I decided to split up my colors. That is just because blue will be my main color and the tan will be the little bit of the secondary contrast color. And that is just so that I have a better idea when I am mixing all of the colors together. So then after you have mixed all your paint in, you're gonna have to go ahead and let it dry. It can take anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes depending on your environment and what type of acrylic paint you have used. Although today I did use colored clay to color my translucent, you can also use alcohol ink. These I have just gotten at Hobby Lobby, and you can also use mica powder to color them. I also got these at Hobby Lobby, I believe. Mica powder leaves a little bit more of a shimmer to the colored clay, but it can be really fun to mix up your own colors throughout the translucent. Once you have noticed that your acrylic paint has dried on your clay pieces, you're going to go ahead and start mixing them together. Here, I do like to toss them around a bit to make sure that I have all of the colors in a more scattered position. So you'll also find that sometimes you will need to use liquid Bacon Bond from Sculpey or another brand. This is just the brand I use. This will just help your clay pieces all bond together as you go to create a log. Although I did not wear gloves here, I would recommend wearing gloves as the Sculpey Bacon Bond can be quite sticky and a little bit harder to wash out of your hands. So once you feel like you have incorporated the Sculpey Bacon Bond well throughout all of the pieces, what you're going to do is you're going to start forming them together in a ball. Here I like to just use my hands to press all the pieces together. Because of the liquid Bacon Bond, they will be a little bit stickier towards each other, which is nice. And then you just go ahead and take all the pieces that have been stuck on your fingers, all the runaway pieces that are on the tile, and you just start pushing them together to give them a nice bond together to create your cane, which is what you are going to be slicing off of to create your marbled slab. So here you can see there's still lots of gaps around them. So then I just go ahead and I use the palm of my hand as I work and flip and press down to get all of the pieces to bond together. Sometimes you'll find that you need to like wiggle your hand a little bit if it's not coming together. What you could also do is use a tile or acrylic square to help you go ahead and push them together to bond all of them. But really, it is just about all the pieces to come together to form that cane. I choose to press mine into a rectangle as that just gives me a better idea of all of the sides that I have pushed on to hopefully get all of those pieces inside to combine together. But what you could also do is you could go ahead and roll it into a log. But like I said, it's just easier for me to press all of the sides of this rectangle. Once you are all finished combining it, you'll see that all of those pieces are nicely pressed together, and then you can start to get a glimpse of what your marbled is going to look like. After that, I go ahead and I scrape off all the acrylic paint that I've had on my table. This just makes for a cleaning surface to start slicing the marbled. I like to press mine down on the tile as that just helps keep it secure. And then I go ahead and I use my tissue blade to slice slices. I recommend slicing slices about how thick you would like your marbled pieces to be. This way you won't distort the marbling as much. And then I go ahead and take a look at what the first slice looks like. You can see all the blended colors. So then what you'll do is you'll go ahead and either slice as little or as much off of this cane as you would like to create earrings. I'm just going to go ahead and slice half of it. And then from here, you will go ahead and lay them down on the tile. I lay them next to each other, but not overlapping, as that just helps with the paint on the front. And then you can see I liked to switch them around to get the blues and the tans together. First, what I will do is I will use my hand roller to lightly roll the clay out. This is just because sometimes it can be a little sticky still from all of the paint and all of the liquid bacon bond, and this just helps it not get as messed up once you go to send it through the pasta machine. So once I believe that I have it at a pretty close size to what I would cut my earrings out on, I'll go ahead and take it off of my tile. And what I'll do is when I run it through the pasta machine, I will run it one higher than I normally would. This just helps it not get too distorted for the first roll, and I will run it one way, and then the other way I will turn it and run it the other way to just get the shapes to get blended together a little bit more. And once you have ran it through the pasta machine, you can see the beautiful work you've created. So here I have picked a cutter set from Butter Cutter. I personally like this organic pebble drop to show off the true beauty of the marbled slab. That way you get a little bit of it all through it, and then it ends up looking like stones stacked on top of each other. But you can go ahead and use whatever your favorite cutters are. So I go ahead and I cut out these pieces. Sometimes I'll go and I will match the colors to get the, same similar colors on the top and the middle and the bottom. But really you can just go to town, because personally what I think the beauty of this marbled slab is that it is all different and it is all beautiful, and that it all comes together so perfectly in the end. Another thing with this marbled slab is you may find that it sticks to your work surface a little bit more, and that is mainly because of the bacon bond. The way that it is supposed to stick the clay together also ends up sticking the clay to your work surface. So here you just have to be a little bit more patient. I like to use my needle tool to help get out any of the pieces that are stuck in between, and then you can save those scraps that you have pulled up to use for things like bezels and rings and necklaces, as they're all still very usable pieces. So what I'll do after this is I will transfer them to a tile for baking, and this just helps baking them flat, and I will use resin afterwards to coat them to give them the nice glossy finish, and so they will actually adhere to the tile, which helps them not move around when I'm using my resin. And then what you can see here is them finished, covered in resin with a nice glossy, and then you can see all the colors popping out. And here you can see how the translucent shines through the pieces through the sunlight.